right, y'all, we back. Okay, for the second installment today of mf'n advice. Let's move on to the next letter. Hey, Bondi, love your channel, ma'am. Okay, thank you, girl. So I have a situation. I recently just met this guy, and I think that I'm falling for him. He's a white guy, and I'm black. And there's also a significant age difference between us. We told each other that neither one of these would come between us. However, there is one more issue. He has been married before and got a divorce some time ago, and his children are grown. And after he had his second child, he got a vasectomy. I feel like we have an amazing connection, and he keeps telling me that if things move forward with us, that he will be willing to look at options, adoption or otherwise. This guy is really great, and I really care about him, but I feel like down the line, this will really make me sad because I really do want to be a mom by birth. We've discussed this at length, and I really don't want to let him go. What would you do? Okay. I would just look into artificial insemination. Like, that's it. Artificial insemination. You can still be pregnant. You can still have a child, especially if this man has the ends to, afford you that. Adoption is great, but if you want to have a child yourself, y'all need to have a conversation about artificial insemination. And if he is okay with that option and that is something that you can see y'all doing down the line, then by all means, stay with that man if you really care about him and y'all have a good connection and a good relationship. All of that other shit I don't care about. I don't care that he's white. I don't care that he's older. If y'all have a good relationship, if y'all can have great conversations, if y'all have great sex, if y'all can enjoy each other's company, if y'all can be in a house together with just y'all two and have a great time together, then I would suggest you keep on pushing with this relationship. But if that is something that is not an option, I would suggest you break it off before you get too deep in. Because like you said, down the line, that will become an issue. Because you're going to want to have children and you have a clock in your stomach, okay? You got a clock that's ticking that's telling you you're almost out of time, bitch. So I feel like you should definitely have that conversation and make your choice from there. But I hope that artificial insemination is something that he will consider for you guys so that y'all can continue to have this great relationship. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know, I don't think you said how much of an age difference it is. Because sometimes, 10, 11 years, that ain't nothing. But 20, 30, then things start to be like, is this really going to work out in the long run? Because there is a point in which the men stay the same and the women grow. And sometimes y'all are not growing together, okay? Sometimes you get to a certain place and realize that he wants to control you too much. Or he wants, y'all to have a life that you no longer want anymore. And sometimes vice versa, okay? But at the end of the day, these are things you need to think about before you decide to, have children and all of that. Y'all are not married. Those are conversations that need to be had. So y'all just need to communicate and talk and put everything out on the table and see where y'all are with it. But I wish y'all the best. On to the next letter. Just want to start off by saying I'm 21 and live in the UK. Hey, international bitch. You love my channel. Look forward to watching my videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So last year I was in a relationship that I would class as my first love. Oh, all right, class. All right, because this means that this is some type of lingo that's not American. Okay? I never loved someone so hard to the point that it made me ill. Oh, child, I have. However, the relationship was one-sided and I was getting nothing back in return. And emotionally and physically, I became drained. I finally built up the courage to walk away, even though it wasn't something I wanted to do. It was something I had to do. I'm very thankful for my friends because they really helped pick me up and I started to love myself again. Fast forward a little and my ex got into another relationship and it seemed that karma really came around because now he was in the position I felt I was in last year. Child, don't you love when you get to see things come full circle? I've seen it a couple of times. That's why I feel like vengeance is the Lord for real. I don't need to do nothing to you. Time will, okay? But anyway, they broke up and we've been back in contact. But by doing so, it's made me realize I still love him. He says that he wants to be friends for now and that he still cares about me and wants to be on his own for a while. But every time we're around each other, we end up getting close and intimate, and it makes me think there's still a chance. But then he reminds me he's not ready. All of his friends say that I'm really good for him and I'm a good person, but I shouldn't wait around for him. And my friends have said the same and are worried I'm going to be left heartbroken. I really love him and don't want to lose him. I can't see myself loving anyone the way I've loved him at the moment, but I can feel myself starting to become drained and making myself ill crying, just wanting him to love me back. I don't know what to do. I want to move on, but at the same time, the fear of losing him just hurts even more. I've dealt with this. Okay, I've dealt with this, sis. Let me tell you. I know it hurts, but you got to break all ties. You can't talk to him. You can't be friends. You can't sleep with them and think that it's going to be okay, because it's not. And I know you love him, but what you need to realize is that every person you love does not mean that you need to be with them. Just because you love them don't mean that y'all need to be in a relationship. You can love them from afar. Love them from over there, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, when I look back on my relationships, I still love some of these people because I love them in such a strong way. I love them as people, and for what we were at that time. But at the end of the day, girl, you will definitely love somebody more than you loved him. I promise, okay? I swear for God, you're going to find somebody else to love more than you loved him. So please, remember to respect yourself first, love yourself first, and keep your distance. Please break all the contact and find somebody else to talk to take up your time and energy. It don't mean it got to be that deep. It don't mean it got to be a rebound. Just go date, talk to other people. Just have other people as an option, so when you're lonely, you don't feel the need to call on him. But please, break it off completely, sis. Do yourself a favor. Hey, Miss Bondy. First, I'd like to say I love your content, and I started watching it when I had absolutely no business being on your grown, very adult channel. But you're like a big sister in my head. I'm in my early 20s, and now I'm rounding up college for undergrad, and life has been a little challenging. I'm essentially doing graduate school research in undergrad. I'm involved in leadership for some school organizations. I work part-time, and my coursework involves me learning 2 new languages. I've been really overwhelmed this semester. I've been trying to cut back, but I want to be a competitive student so I can get into a really good law school. Also, on top of that, I recently discovered that my boyfriend of almost 2 years, my first real relationship, was having multiple other relationships in the same school. I am not a very social person, mostly because I'm very busy. I've never really been able to navigate social media, and I have only 5 really good actual friends. He was one of them. I also come from a very Christian and conservative African household. I really think I should see a therapist because I honestly feel really lost, and I've been wilding lately. However, my parents don't believe in therapy. I can only work part-time. I'm under their insurance, and I wouldn't be able to afford it on my own. They know I'm overwhelmed with school since even before the breakup, but they don't know about the breakup. He was the first guy I ever told them about, and I'm honestly very sure they would criticize me for even dating him to begin with. How do I convince them to let me see a therapist? I feel like I've tried everything, but they aren't buying it, and they keep telling me to pray. Thank you in advance. Okay. Child, people who feel like that really work on my nerves, okay? Because essentially God created doctors, okay? So God created people. He put people on earth so that he can work through them, okay? That is what God does. God works through us. The goodness in us, our talents, the very good to the core of all human beings, I feel like, is essentially what God is. It is the good part of us, okay? It is the talented. It is the majestic, okay? The absolute fabulousness of us all, okay? So when people feel like that, I feel like they're so ignorant. And what I would tell you is that you don't need their insurance. There are counseling, not exactly like psychotherapy, like psychiatrists, but go to your school and find out about counseling. There's some counseling or therapy sessions where they only charge like maybe 50, 60 bucks, and you can go maybe once a week and talk to somebody, but you definitely need the help. And I don't think you need to go through your parents' insurance to do that. At least that's the way I started going to therapy. When I first went to therapy, it was not through my insurance. It was through a community center that offered counseling. People who got their degree or certification in counseling versus actual psychologists or psychiatrists, okay? So I think you should start there. You do a lot in your school, so you should be able to go to somebody there and talk to somebody about counseling. And that might be cheaper. Even on campus, they might have something out there for you that doesn't involve you having to get your parents' insurance for it. I also feel like if you have their insurance card, all you got to do is make the appointment. Like, how they gonna find out about it? Like, I mean, they'll get the bill and maybe then they'll see it, but they'll be after the fact. But I'm just saying there are other avenues for you to go so that you don't have to go through their insurance to do it. Also, I would tell you to stop piling so much on yourself, because essentially you have time to get these things done. And I know you want to be a competitive student, but you also have to be a healthy person, because being a competitive student, also that you can become a lawyer that doesn't have a good life balance, is not going to in the end work out for you. It's going to bleed through in the work you do if you're not balancing your life in a way for you to be healthy. You need to come first, okay? Your well-being, your mental, emotional, and physical health needs to come before anything else, and that means relationships, parents, and school. Okay? But I understand what you mean. I understand the pressure. I understand, especially coming from an African household. I definitely understand and I get it. So what I will say is seek out counseling, not therapy. It's usually cheaper. It's still therapy, but they don't have the same certification, so you're not paying as much, basically. But it's still helpful to have somebody to bounce your feelings and emotions off of and guide you through those emotions so that you can become free of them. But please don't let that fester within yourself and turn into something else. Because like you said, you wilding out. Whenever we feel in some type of way and we not dealing with it, it starts to show in other ways. That's why I say it's going to seep out eventually. So yeah, do yourself a favor and seek out some counseling, which can be cheaper, and you may be able to afford that just off of the money that you either get from your parents or from your little part-time job. But girl, keep on going. I was reading that and I was proud. I was like, yes, girl, you better be going ahead and doing graduate and undergrad. Yes, okay, you better do all of that. Girl, look, I did a lot. I didn't do that, but I worked 2 jobs and I was in school at the same time. So I definitely, that was my last semester. My 2 last semesters, I worked 2 jobs and also went to school. So I get it, okay? I understand what you feel. To finish, to do what you're trying to do, to become a great lawyer. But remember that all that will be for naught if you have a nervous breakdown once you get there. So take care of yourself first. Seek out counseling and start trying to find ways to become independent of your parents. Because at the end of the day, their generation is not our generation. They don't get it. They may not ever get it. And that doesn't need to be your problem. Okay? So just like you out here in school trying to create this opportunity for yourself, you need to in other ways start to, separate yourself from them so that their ideals don't crash down on you. I hope that's clear. But yeah, girl, that's my advice. Moving on. All right, y'all, this is the last one, and then the rest of them, I think I just might have like 3 more, but my voice is going out and I can already feel it. I've done what I can do for the day. Okay, tomorrow I'll come back with some Bondi Blue shows for y'all. But yeah, we're gonna just end this right here, and the rest of them I'll do next week. So, and I'm gonna try to do a mf'n advice. So y'all keep sending y'all emails into me, and I'll definitely try to keep this going through the month of December. All right, so thank you for taking the time to give me advice. You're welcome. My issue is finance. I don't make much as I used to, and I have over 100 grand in debt with student loans, credit cards, and taxes. I am afraid they may come after my home, God forbid. I'm only making $50,000 a year. How can I get my head out of the sand? I have been trying to find a second job with no luck. Any advice, I would appreciate it. Okay, girl, I'm going to do what I can with this. Okay, because I'm not a CPA and I need to get one. So as far as taxes, they'll put you on a monthly payment, okay? They'll put you on a low monthly payment too. The IRS don't care how long it take you to give it to them. They just want it, okay? So what you need to do is stop being so anxiety filled and scared to deal with the issue, and just get on the damn phone with the people, or when y'all, deal with it however. But usually when you go to do your taxes at the beginning of the year, they offer you a payment plan. Girl, I'm on payment plan right now, and I know I'm going to have to be on payment plan next year. Lord have mercy, pray for me, okay? But I don't let it stress me out, because I know it just means that y'all going to be probably taking $300 out of my money every month. But what I've been doing while I have it, I've been trying to pay down my credit cards, pay off my credit cards, so that I don't have as much to pay once I get to that time frame. But either way, I do understand the stress of it, but they can't take what you don't have. What I would suggest with your student loans, try to get a deferment. Try to see if they'll maybe loan forgiveness. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't, but you can get it deferred. You can get it deferred because of you don't have the money. All you have to do is tell them how much your bills are and how much you make, and usually they will defer it for like 6 months or something like that, so you don't have to pay it, and it'll give you a chance to work on other things. But I would definitely tell you to stay up to date. Pay that little $50 or whatever they want you to, or pay the minimum amount, or just pay something. Because I have some loans that they be like, oh, they want $100 on this loan, $100 on that. I say, baby, no. I don't have that. I can't do that. So I pay a little bit off of this one, a little bit off of that one, a little bit off of this one. And it's enough to keep them out my ass. Okay, now I have another one that comes out automatically. But the other loans, I pay little bit by little bit when I get it. I get them deferred when I have to. You can deal with that. That's not the worst thing. So you deal with that. Okay, fine. Credit cards, that's a little bit harder, but I would tell you constantly make your minimum payment on time. Do that. Get that minimum payment every time, and when you can, put a little extra on it. It's going to take you time, but as long as you're giving people their money, they'll do it. And what you mean by you tried to find a second job? It's Christmas time. They hiring everywhere because they have an overflow of hours and customers around Christmas time. Girl, go in this mall and find you somewhere to work. Okay, go to the Walgreens. There's always somewhere that needs extra people. UPS, they always somewhere that need extra people during the holidays. So that's definitely doable. Get online, find you something. Go to the mall, see who out there hiring. Like, that's doable. Okay, you can figure that out. When I first quit my job, YouTube has so many ups and downs. There was sometimes I wasn't making enough money to pay all my bills, and some bills just had to, wait until I got the money. And that was very difficult for me. But I got my little part-time job, and then money got better. Not because of that. That's extra money. But YouTube got a little bit better, and that's great. I feel so blessed right now to be where I am. But it took me a long time to get here. So sometimes you just have to understand that it takes time once you've dug yourself into a hole with credit cards and all of that. But the taxes, get them to do the minimum, like maybe $100 or something like that. They'll take that out your account every month. That's dealt with. Your student loans, try to get it deferred and pay it when you can. Them people just want their money. As long as they see that you make an effort to pay it, for the most part, they'll leave you alone. At least in my experience. That's one thing. Get that out the way. Credit cards, little bit by little bit, but pay them every month. Even if it's a $25 minimum balance, whatever it is, pay it every month to try to get down on it. But sometimes if your interest rate is too high, it's like a wash. And you got to wait till you actually making enough money to pay it off. But I would just say, I know the anxiety of it. Take a deep breath and realize that not dealing with it is not going to make it better. Ignoring phone calls does not mean that they won't continue to mess with your credit. So do what you have to do. Let them people know, look, I ain't got it. Okay, I can't give you what I ain't got. Okay, and make sure at the end of the day that you pay your note on your house. Okay, because that's what you want to keep in my mind. When I was on YouTube and I wasn't making enough money to pay all my credit card bills and all my student loan bills, you know what I thought about? Give them the minimum and make sure that my house is taken care of, because I need to be able to keep this. This is what's most important. When I would make the money I need for my mortgage, I would feel way better. Okay, I got the money for my mortgage. Now after that, we can work on everything else. Okay. But all in all, it's more so about handling your own anxiety and your own stress. And just remember that them people will work with you as long as you give them a little bit of their money. But you can't keep ignoring it and think that it's going to get any better, because it's not. And sometimes you're just going to be stressed about it. That's what adulting is. All this shit we got to pay for. That's why your parents was telling you, you know, stay in a child's place and don't try to grow up too fast. Because once you get here, you realize this shit is not easy. It's stressful as hell. And, you know, it's hard. Adulting is hard sometimes. Y'all know what's going on with this lighting. Okay, adulting is hard, but it's what we have to do. A lot of the times we have to do things that we don't feel like doing or that we don't want to deal with. But this, I feel like when people go through this, it puts them in a mindset that now I have to do something that puts me in a better situation. And they start to seek out whatever will put them in that better situation. And eventually they will get to a place where they are in a better situation. It's just a process. You have to get there. Okay. So I would just say be patient with yourself. Take a deep breath. Deal with what you can. And the rest of it, then people gonna, you know, you can be dating and people gonna still want that. Like, let it go. Okay, don't stress yourself out to that point about it, because at the end of the day, everybody got bills. Everybody got student loan debt. It's everybody. Okay, so just take a deep breath. Deal with what you can deal with, and the rest of that, girl, you could die tomorrow. So remember to still have something for yourself. Okay, get them people that little money when you can, and take care of yourself. Okay, that's my advice. All right, y'all. That was mf'n advice for this week. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Send me your letters to mfnadvice@gmail.com. And I see some of y'all are sending them to to Bondy.Brittany@gmail.com. My bad. Either way, either one is great. I just created that exclusively for that, but it doesn't matter. I get all my comments from YouTube there too, so it don't even matter. So yeah, either one, it'll work. And I'll be back for another mf'n advice next week, and you'll get the Bondy Blue show, probably 2 of them tomorrow. At least I hope I can pull enough subjects to talk about for 2 videos, y'all. We'll see. All right, y'all. Peace out.